I don't understand how you sleep at night. And she is referring to a conversation that Shaun King revealed about her son. So Samira Rice, mother of Tamir Rice, slammed Shaun King via Instagram and accused him of profiting off of her son's death. Rice wrote this week, along with the United States, "You robbed me for the death of my son, 12-year-old Tamir Rice, who was killed by Cleveland police in 2014 while playing with a toy gun." The episode that she is referring to is "I spoke to Samira Rice this past week and included an episode description that said it was a much needed conversation. I learned a lot." Now, a lot of people have been on Shaun King's heels for quite some time now, because they're saying that he is one of these people that people are referring to as a someone who profits off of tragedy. Al Sharpton is one of those people that are also accused of that as well. Now, some people have went as far as to say that Shaun King, he's manipulating the parents of these individuals who have been slain with police brutality cases. Some other people have went even further to say Shaun King is not even black, so he's trying to play the black community by trying to shape up his appearance and make himself look more like a black man, and he's not black. A lot of people have a lot of smoke for Shaun King. Now, Tamir Rice's mother went on to say, "I ain't never talked to Shaun King a day in my life." Wow. Shaun King raised money and sent me a $60,000 check. She also accused King of using Tamir Rice's name without her consent. Wow. She said, I ain't know Shaun King from a hole in the wall." So yeah, I would say that if this woman, first of all, you're raising money for her son, but she doesn't know you. Okay, some people may say maybe he wanted to help. But you're using her son's name. No, he's using her son's name to continue to get attention for himself.
Okay, now that part right there. So, but here's the thing. The original thing is like, can't really. Just how many people raise money for people they don't know when tragedy happens. You know what I mean? Foundations and stuff do that all the time, right? There was no problem when she was getting the $60 check, was it? The $60,000 check, was it?
Well, she said that she one, she never gave him permission to start using her son's name.
I get that.
Also, I guess after the fundraiser started, she started the Tamir Rice Foundation a couple of years later in 2017.
After he started his foundation, because he started his foundation right when it happened, I imagine.
I don't think he started a foundation. I think it was just a fundraiser.
Okay, right when it happened, imagine. So then he raised some money. He sent her $60,000. Right. According to the story, right?
Yes.
Nothing about her sending that money back or her refusing that money from the person she did not know, right? At that time, right?
Yeah, but she said she had been misled about his involvement in fundraising. When she did talk to him, he was very harsh. This is her words.
But she just said earlier.
No, prior to that, prior to him doing all this stuff and using her son's name, she said she never gave him permission to do that.
Yeah, but earlier in the story, it said somewhere where it said, I haven't spoke with Shaun King a day in my life.
Obviously, it's before he started using her son's name to draw attention to himself. He had not spoken to her prior to that. He had not reached out to her because she said she never gave him permission to even use the name.
But it's okay. I don't. So
the reason why I feel some type of way about this is because this isn't the only parent that has come forward and said that people are making countless money off of their slain family members' names. Mike Brown's father came out and talked about how these people, these tragedy chasers, they continue to use the names of their family members for attention, to raise money, and a lot of that money is not coming to the families.
I agree.
They're using the money for their own efforts and to forward their agenda, and I really think that is disgusting and despicable, in my opinion.
So a couple of things, right? And I get what you're saying 100%, and I agree. I agree. Here's the thing, though, right? Let's say, because I don't know Shaun King from a hole in the wall. This is the first time I'm hearing that name.
Okay.
Tamir Rice, on the other hand, absolutely know that young man's name. Absolutely know that young man's name.
Okay, a lot of people know who Shaun King, and they
I
know
thought Shaun
him.
King. I know when you said Shaun King, I thought you were talking about the guy, Sean Kingston. That's who I was thinking about. Honestly, you said Shaun King, I start thinking about, wait a minute, that little kid, that rapper, the Jamaican type of Sean Kingston, kind of American Jamaican-ish. That's who I'm just saying. I'm just being completely honest with you, right?
I know. Okay.
So for me to follow the narrative that he's making a name for himself out of Tamir Rice, he's not doing a very good job, because first time I heard the guy's name this morning.
Oh, he's definitely doing a very good job, because a lot of people in the political arena know who Shaun King is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people know who Shaun King is.
I get that.
So he's out there and he's known.
But I'm not really in the political arena. I'm not in the political arena. So, but saying that to say, I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, this Shaun King, you said he's an activist, right? So therefore, he has some kind of foundation to do something towards helping somebody, no?
Okay, let's get a little bit more into it. And I think I said the wrong phrase, but anyway, it all sums up. These people who are ambulance chasers, and they build a political career off of raising funds for people who have been slain by the police and things like that. Mm-hmm. They bolster themselves up, and they largely do not involve the family members, and the family members don't see the majority of that money. So why are you fundraising off of the death of someone's family member? They get a very small portion of the funds, and you continue to speak on their family members after they've severed ties with you. They're no longer I would be very offended by that. You're gonna keep on using my family member's name to further elevate yourself and raise money for this cause when I've already cut you off and I want nothing to do with you. I would be pissed off, mad too. I would. That's just the reality of what it is. She also came for Black Lives Matter, because Black Lives Matter raises a lot of money for these people who are slain by the police. And Mike Brown's father came for Black Lives Matter as well, because he said they're using my son's name to raise all this money, and we haven't seen a dime. But my son's name is being used to further their agenda and further their profits.
I get it, and I understand the frustration and all of that. Here's my thing. We need to be careful when we start talking about an individual and use a collective to hang the individual. So what we're doing right now in this story, just the way that it's from my point of view, right? And I'm not talking about Black Lives Matter. I'm not talking about all these. I'm talking about the one particular person that the story was about, the Shaun King.
Who is a so-called activist.
It's a so-called activist, right? Mm-hmm. So like I was saying, if a person has a foundation to help people, right? A non-for-profit organization that does things like raise money and move agendas forward, right? It's still a company, it's still a business, regardless of whether it's for profit or non-profit, right? It's still a business, a company, an entity that has to operate. That's going to have operating costs. That going to have more, it has to have a board because it's a non-profit organization. You need to have three or more board members. All right, so now you're going to have you got the board members, you got employees, you got all kinds of things that make these things happen. You have buildings, you have all kinds of things that make these things happen. So when a fundraiser goes down from a non-for-profit organization, it's not feasible or a normal practice for the beneficiary of the fundraiser to receive all of the funds of that said fundraiser. Now, I'm not saying that to say this guy Shaun King or any one of these other organizations are doing things the proper way. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is, a lot of times, because not everybody has business minds, a lot of people hear fundraising, keyword, non-for-profit, keyword, and they automatically take that to mean nobody should be making money off of this. But that's not the way things are set up in business world. You get my point? Like, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, there is another side to it also.
I'm well aware of what that other side of it is.
Mm-hmm.
What I do not agree with is this woman making it known that she does not want him lying about their relationship, trying to make it seem like it's something that it's not.
I agree.
And him continuing to use her son's name to further his agenda.
I just think there might be a little bit more to the fact. I just think there's a little bit more to the story, especially to the fact that now she's complaining that she doesn't know the guy from a hole in the wall, and he's using my son's name. But there wasn't a problem when he was receiving the check back then.
You can't say that because you're making an assumption that there wasn't a problem.
Well, I mean,
she said when she finally did get to meet him, he was very rude to her and condescending to her. So their initial, I guess, face-to-face interaction with each other was a very unpleasant one.
Right.
And then at that time, obviously, because before, you could send me money. That doesn't mean I know you.
Right.
That doesn't mean we're talking and we're buddy-buddy.
Right.
That doesn't mean that at all.
Right.
So when I do finally get a chance to formally meet you and our interaction is not a good one, don't be walking around here making it seem like this situation that's going on is something that is not, so you can look good in the eyes of the public. I would have been told him, get my son's name out of your mouth. Don't mention his name at all. It would have already been a situation going on where you're not using my son's name to do anything for your business.
I get what you're saying. I would like to hear the other side of the story. I would like to hear his side.
Well, the people, like I said, our community
100%.
don't mess with Shaun King like that.
I don't know. I don't even know the guy.
So he needs to pack up his bag and go to his community. Because word on the street, bruh, is that you're not even black. So take 2 steps to the left and get your ass out of here. And that's all I have to say about it.
Hey, this one is hot, man. It's Young Dro. I remember Dro.
Everything litty, I love when it's hot. Turned to the city, I broke all the notch. Got some more millies, I keep me a knot. I created history, it made me a lot. He tried to diss me and it don't false. We call him Chaucer cause they gonna chop. Took her out of filers cause her pussy pop. I run it like Nike, we got it on lock. Cardiac eye, I'm the boss man in a suit with no tie. I can't be sober, I gotta stay high. Put me some syrup in the can and it's dry. Riding in special like Bunny and Clyde. Don't worry, baby, I keep me some fire. Shenanigans and Birkin, she cannot decide. The ladies Mercedes will go to surprise. Don't sleep on Miss Lady, her pussy a prize. Digging her back while I'm gripping her sides. Digging my back, this ain't regular size. You really fly, we like pelican guys. Bitch, you ain't slick, I can tell her the skies. Upgrade at my wrist, put her gas in the sky. She sing I might sign her and change her whole life. I told her to goggle and work on her eyes. Everything litty, I love when it's hot. Turned to the city, I broke all the notch. Got some more millies, I keep me a knot. I created history, it made me a lot.